Hey guys, Patrick Wind here and welcome to this training model about automated rules. Well, with automated rules, you can basically put your campaigns, ad sets and ads to autopilot because you can define if-then conditions. So for example, if the cost per acquisition is too high, then turn off the ad set. If the cost per acquisition is very low, then increase the budget, so on and so forth. So as you can already see, it's a very strong and powerful tool that helps us to automate our day-to-day work and therefore allows us to, for example, go on vacation without having to worry about our ads, or also automating just repetitive tasks. And this will definitely help us in order to scale our ads much more. So, this little video here is about an introduction where I first show you more detail about what automated rules actually are. Then also in detail what are all the conditions that we can set up, so the if conditions, and then also the then actions. So if this and that happens, then do this and that. Okay, so let's get started with a general introduction on what it is, and then the conditions, and then the actions. So about automated rules. So with automated rules, you can create rules in Ads Manager that automatically update or notify you of changes to your campaigns, ad sets or ads. So as you already see, it's we can do two things. On the one hand, we can let the Facebook machine automatically do the changes for us. But if this is too aggressive for us, we could also just let them notify us. So we'll receive either an email or a notification within Facebook that tells us, okay, this and that condition is actually fulfilled now, so you could do this and that, but it wouldn't be done automatically. So it's like an entry level for automation, if you want to say it like this. So you could either set up just notifications that is sent to you, or you can let Facebook actually automatically do all the changes for you. And when you create an automated rule, you choose the condition and the action and to which element is going to be applied. So to all active campaigns, ad sets or ads, or just to specific ones. So this is also something that many people don't know. You do not have to apply your automated rules to all active campaigns, ad sets or ads. You can simply select one specific ad set or one specific ad or one specific campaign or your entire prospecting campaigns. So whatever you want. And for example, as I said, you can turn off an ad when it doesn't perform well, or you can increase the budget when more people click on your ad, so if it performs well. Or you could also just send notifications to your email address when the overall number of people who view your ad decreases past a certain number, for example. So important to note, while automated rules may cut down on the time needed to manage your ads, you should still monitor the overall performance of your ads to make sure they're meeting your marketing goals. So this is a clear downside of the automated rules, that they do not 100% clean your schedule from doing Facebook ads, because they're just a machine that reacts in the way that you have set up upfront. But what happens if the numbers are not 100% how you thought they're gonna be? What happens if, for example, the cost per add to cart is very low? So it's a very good ad set, but then no one of them actually purchases. So, or let's say one person purchases, so you have a very low cost per add to cart and very high cost per purchase. Like all of these gray zone decisions, you cannot really do with the automated rules. So it's still required that a human being actually takes a look at those in between decisions. But all the extreme ones, so if everything is very good, then increase budget, or everything is very bad, then turn off the ad set. Those extreme decisions, I definitely recommend to have the automated rules in place. So how can we combine conditions? And that is very important, because many people think you can only set up an automated rule. For example, let's say my cost per website purchase is high, then turn off, or my cost per website purchase is low, then increase budget. But that's not true. You can combine all of those conditions. So for example, you could say if my cost per website purchase is low, and also my cost per checkout is low, and also my cost per add to cart is low, and also my cost per content view is low, then increase budget. Okay? Or on the contrary, if my cost per website purchase is high, and also the click-through rate is low, and also the cost per add to cart is is high, for example, so let's imagine let's imagine that we're getting a very terrible ad set, so a very high click-through rate, a very low click-through rate. Imagine that we have a very low click-through rate on this specific ad, and also nobody adds to cart, so very high cost per add to cart, and a very high cost per website purchase, or even no purchases at all. Well, then turn off the ad set. And the cool thing is that we can actually combine all of them. So we can choose from the following conditions when you create your rule. As I said, you can take all the funnel KPIs, so being from content view to add to cart to initiate checkout to website purchase. You could also take the Facebook internal KPIs like CPM, CTR, and even CPC. Okay. You could work also with the amount spent as a condition, amount spent today, hours since creation, frequency, impressions, lifetime spent, results. Then here, that is something a very cool one with the name. You can play around also to select one specific one, and you see all the conditions that you have here actually. So this really gives us a lot of opportunities to come up with some very nice and helpful automations. For example, hours since creation. So you could apply it, for example, to all ad sets, but they should have passed at least 48 hours or something since it was created. Audience reach ratio, that's a very cool one. So the estimated percentage of your ad sets reach against its audience size. Imagine that I have very high budgets and my audience is very low. Well, then please turn off the ad set if I have reached 80% of my audience, for example. And you also see here additional options. So they allow advertisers to set additional criteria that applies to individual conditions. For example, advertiser may want a metric to apply to a parent object to a different time range than to one for the entire rule. So with those additional filter options, you can actually even define different time conditions, different time ranges. And now the important thing is, once we have defined which kind of condition we want to select, let's say, for example, we stick to the funnel ones, so the cost per website purchase, cost per add to cart, and cost per content view, for example, then we have to say is greater than, is smaller than, is between, or is not between. For example, cost per website purchase is smaller than, and also cost per add to cart is smaller than, and then if it's small, then increase budget, so on and so forth. And we have to define in which time range, in which attribution window. So the important is just, I mean, imagine that you're in your ads manager, okay? And there you also have to take a look at just the last 7 days, or lifetime, or just today. And this, of course, you have to also define here when it comes to your automated rule, and also the attribution windows should be defined. So these are all the conditions that we have when it comes to our if-then automated rules. And now let's say if cost per website purchase is low, and cost per add to cart is also low, and click-through rate is high, then, and now we can say what we want to do, okay? Well, then either turn off something, or send us just a notification, or adjust budget, even adjust the manual bit, unpause, scale budget, or bit, okay? So this is very interesting. Let's go through all of them in detail. For example, I mean, you can turn off your campaign ad sets or ads if it didn't perform well. You could send notification in either way, so that send a notification to yourself or also to other people in your ad account when your rule makes changes to your ads. Adjust the budget, increase or decrease. Important, you can increase or decrease the daily, but also the lifetime budget of the specific ad set. You can adjust the manual bit, so increase or decrease the bit of your ad set. This action only works with manual bits, of course, so not with automated ones. So manual bits are now called target cost bits. You can unpause your ad based on a rule you set. You also have the option to pause it this way. And then the last one, which is new, is you can scale your budget or bit. So it adjusts your budget based on a rule you set. For example, if the cost per app install in this case is $1 and you would like 2, we will double your budget. Note that the ROAS metric is inverse, so if cost per 2 you want 1, or well, we'll double your budget. This is something that is unfortunately only available with website, not with website, with just mobile app ROAS, so not really for our normal ROAS so far, but it's going to be very powerful in the future as well. So guys, I have shown you in this little video what the automated rules are. So basically if-then conditions that help you to automate your campaigns, ad sets and ads. Then I've shown you all the conditions that there are, so all the if conditions. And then I've shown you also the actions that we can take automatically, or we can just let us send notifications in order to realize them on our own. So guys, thank you very much for listening and see you in the next video. Goodbye.